Okay, here we are on our next video, subtracting integers. Subtracting integers is actually very similar to adding integers. So all we are going to do is go over the one new rule that we have. And our subtracting integer rule is what's in the box right there. And to subtract an integer, all you're going to do this. You're going to add its opposite. So to subtract an integer, and again, by subtracting, I mean there's going to be a minus sign in the problem. To subtract an integer, you're just going to add the opposite. Okay, what does that mean? Well, down underneath, I have written what that means. And what that means is the first number is going to remain the same. Okay, so you have two numbers that you're subtracting. The first number remains the same. If it's -5, it stays -5. If it's 20, it stays 20. Then the next thing you do is you're going to change your minus sign to a plus sign. So we're going to change our minus sign to a plus sign. And then you're going to take the opposite of the second number. And that means if it's positive, it's going to become negative. If it's negative, it's going to become positive. Okay, so we're taking the opposite, we're changing the sign of the second number. Okay, and that's going to help us when we change it from a minus to a plus. That keeps the answer the same. Now that we've changed our minus to a plus sign, we now have an addition problem. We're going to follow our addition rules. Remember, when you add, same sign, add them together, put that sign in front, different signs, subtract the two numbers, find the difference of them, and put the sign from the greater absolute value. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide. So when you're ready, you can move forward. If you need to pause it, pause it. Okay, here's our examples. Let me get my pen out here. Here's our examples. Let's use blue today. And in our examples today, we have three different examples, A, B, and C, and we're going to find the difference. Now I'm just going to follow those rules. I'm going to add the opposite, and I'm going to follow my rules that I just went over. So the first thing we're going to do is the first number is going to stay the same. So 6 is going to stay 6. I'm going to turn my minus to a plus sign. So I'm going to turn that to a plus sign. And I'm going to take the opposite of the next number. That's positive 13. So that's going to become negative 13. Now I have 6 plus negative 13. They're different signs, so you subtract them. That's 7. The negative is bigger than, the 13 is bigger than the 6, and that's negative. So my answer is negative 7. Okay. For example B here, I have negative 12 minus 4. First number stays the same. It's going to be negative 12. The minus is going to turn to a plus sign. And my 4 is now going to become negative 4. Now you can see that I don't have parentheses around these in my problems. So no parentheses around the 13 there, no parentheses around the 4. Over here I do. That's why I put parentheses around those so you can tell the difference between a minus sign and a negative sign, even though they have a very similar properties. Negative 12 plus negative 4, back to that problem. They're both negative, so my answer is going to be negative. 12 plus 4 is 16. Negative 16. In example C, we have negative 5 minus negative 15. So negative 5 is going to stay the same. My minus sign is now going to turn to a plus sign. And my negative 15 is now going to become a positive 15. So now I have negative 5 plus 15. That's my new problem. By the way, you will need to show this step in all of your subtraction problems up until through the test. Okay, so make sure on any subtraction problem, you have to show the changing it to addition step. Okay, back to our negative 5 plus 15. They're different signs, so I subtract them. 15 minus 5 is 10. 15 is greater than 5. 15 is positive. So my answer is positive. Okay, and that is how I do subtraction. Now we got another slide here next, so if you need to pause, pause, and then I'll move on to my next slide right now. These are evaluating, so I'm going to follow the same rules. I'm just going to evaluate the expression, so I have to show my substitution step, then turn it to addition. So you got a little extra work on these. First, I'm going to substitute negative 3 in for D. So it's negative 3 minus 5. Okay, must show that step. Then I'm going to turn it to addition. First number stays the same. Turn my subtraction into addition. Turn my positive 5 there into a negative 5. Now they're the same sign, so 3 plus 5 is 8. They're both negative, so my final answer is negative 8. Okay, let's try B here. Negative 15 minus D. First, I'm going to substitute negative 15 minus negative 3. Okay, now I have to turn my subtraction into addition. So that's going to be negative 15 plus my negative 3 now turns into a positive 3. Negative 15 plus 3, they're different signs, so I subtract them. 15 minus 3 is 12. 15 is bigger than 3. 15 is negative, so my answer is negative 12. And that's how we do evaluating. Again, evaluating is just finding the answer. Okay, I'm done with this slide. So remember, if you need to pause or rewind at any point, do that. I'm going to go on to my next slide right now. Okay, the next slide is for examples to do on your own. So tomorrow in class, we're going to work on these 2 examples. So you guys need to make sure that you have these done in your notes before your summary question, because we're going to go over these in class tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you guys in class.